Oh, never mind. There we go. Okay. Alright. Let's make this quick and dirty. Alright, right now I'm going to be setting up just the camera really fast. Okay, that ought to do it, right? Maybe. Oh, that worked. Alright. Well, here we go then. I need to adjust my mount a little bit. It's 3D printed, so it's not perfect. Okay. So step one, I'm going to have this Chromebook off. Here I already have a USB key with Ubuntu pre-installed, Ubuntu Server not pre-installed, the ISO here. I've already enabled developer mode. You can just look up a video on how to do that. It's the same across all computers. What you're going to see now is the stuff that's different for different computers, which is why I'm even putting this online in the first place. So what I'm doing here, I'm popping the keyboard cover off of the Chromebook and only lightly destroying it in the process in order to get to a little screw that's inside here. Because this screw, once you take it out, it will disable the firmware write protection, which is what we need to do in order to install Linux on this thing, because Google likes making my life hard. Again, only slightly destroying the Chromebook in the process. It'll be fine. You don't have to be as mean as I'm being. I've done less damage to these before by being nicer. Oh, I can't. There's a crucial step I forgot to do so that I don't absolutely destroy the Chromebook. You gotta take these screws out here. If you look here, we got like little coverings. I gotta pop those off and then take the screws out. Otherwise, I will just destroy the Chromebook. Probably should have remembered to do that. So I'll just take these out really fast. Oh, that's fun. Pretty sure this is going to get me the world record speedrun for installing Linux on the HP Chromebook 11G5 EE, which means absolutely nothing in terms of absolutely nothing, but you know. Now you can put these little caps back in later. Personally, I don't care, so that kind of hinders my doing it, but they're generally pretty easy to get out. What you're going to want, by the way, your tools, you're going to want just like a flathead screwdriver to pry things with, and then some flathead to actually take the screws out with. Some of these are already gone, some of these little rubber feet things. The other thing is, these are only to protect the screws, because these things right here are what's actually going to be touching the table. Why am I doing all this and putting it on YouTube? Well, it's because finding the screw in here is not the world's easiest thing. Well, actually it kind of is. I just kind of found it. I just kind of guessed and I got it right. But you won't be able to find it anywhere else online unless I already put something else online saying where to find it. Because no one else has cared enough to do that. So I thought it would be nice for someone to actually... Okay, so it looks like 2 screws are already missing, which is fine. I don't really care. This thing's going to become like a server, some random server. Probably a media server, to be honest. Try this. If this doesn't work, I'll have to go grab a much smaller screwdriver. Looks like I have to grab a much smaller screwdriver. Oh wait. I think I've misarranged my bits here. No, but I need smaller screwdrivers. I'll be right back. Just gonna grab my smaller screwdrivers. One of these ought to do it. This one. Too small. Alright, now we're cooking with fire. So I think probably the best tactic for this, just unscrew them all best you can, and then pry them out with the flathead. Make sure you get all of them. If you miss one, you'll be sad. Because I've done that, and I was sad. The sad part is from experience. Alright, I think that's as far as that one's going. Got a few more over here. The reason I'm doing this as a live stream is because I'm too lazy to edit videos. And I really don't care enough, so. But I wanted to be nice and put this on YouTube. It also will show you the amount of time you actually need to do this. And there's going to be a bit of time where I'm just letting it sit without actually messing with it at all, just because it's going to be installing random stuff. I'll probably just cut the live stream at that point because there will be no need to really continue. Alright, now that I've done that, I'm going to get my flathead back and just rip these screws on out of here. Two. I'll count this. Well, I won't count the screws because I'll miss a few. This computer's already missing some screws for some unknown reason. Probably got repaired by the repair monkeys at whatever school this was. I shall not disclose the name of the school, even though anyone that's actually watching probably already knows what school. But okay. And if that school is watching, update your security. Thanks. This has nothing to. I'm not trying to like violate school security here. This is someone's personal Chromebook by now. All right. Well, I'm gonna get this one. And sometimes when they don't come out, you can always do the good old banging it on the table trick, which sometimes doesn't work either. Ah, it's because I started taking the thing apart before I was supposed to. Uh-oh. I've now turned on the Chromebook on accident. Come on, come out of there. Come out, you. There we go. Come to Got it. These screws are not my favorite, to be honest. Alright, now that I've gotten all the screws, so there's like this, I'll just show you the kind of the pattern. So I think there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 screws, I think. I don't know, it didn't come with all the screws. You're going to have to open it up, and to which you'll have to shut it back off when it tries to turn itself on. Now you can start prying apart, and it's only slightly damaging this thing. You'll notice it's a lot easier to do now. Alright, so once you get it to about this, you can probably just yank it off. This feels very wrong to do if you actually care and take good care of your technology like I do. But you just have to do it. You just have to yank it. It will feel unpleasant. And that's just too bad. So sad. So wrong. Okay, now I've popped the keyboard off. As you can see, it's moving about freely here. All these little things are in the way. Now I have to do a much more challenging task, for which you might want a flashlight. Just grab this terrible little one over here. Is that visible? Yeah. So the right protection screw, I think that's the one. Just double check. Wait. Wouldn't that be the right protection screw? Well, that's odd because it's not there. But I checked and the right protection is on. Okay, so anyway, maybe that's not the right protection screw. I'm pretty sure it is, what is that arrow? That's interesting. But it should, no, the right protection screw should be this one right here. Let's see if I can get, this flashlight is awful. See if I can get a better view on that. For anyone who is not watching, because I know no one's watching this. At least not as I'm streaming it. See that screw I've kind of focused my light on? Right to the left of that ribbon cable. The one that's holding the keyboard up, you see it? That little black cable? Right to the left of that there's a screw. That's the one you want to go for. Okay, so I'm going to just take that out now. Using a little bit of skill here. You'll probably want to just take like a little screw bit or something, because it's really, really hard to get to without destroying this thing. I really struggle with this. But this step is non-optional if you want to install Linux properly. There is a way to do it using Legacy Boot, but I will explain that a little in a second. I have like a little Ziploc bag of all these Write Protect screws that I've taken out. It's like the first thing I do every time I get a Chromebook like this. Alright. And then you can just pop this thing back into place now that that's gone. And that's that. So hopefully, I'm trying to do this faster than I've ever done it before. I think I already mentioned that. But I think so far I am succeeding. So I'm going to fire this back up while this works. I'm going to give you a little look at this screw here. So this is what it looks like after I've taken it out. This camera doesn't focus for some reason. Man, focus. There we go. See? And it's very oh. By the way, when you have it in developer mode, on that screen that says OS verification is off, press Control D and it won't make those really loud beeping noises that are really annoying. Luckily, once we've got Linux, we won't have to worry about that. See, it's a very flat screw. Alright, so the next step is important here. Let me just enter my password really quick. Okay. So I haven't put any of the screws back in yet, because honestly, I'd rather just get through these steps first. As you can see, this Chromebook has hit its final software update long ago. Next thing you're going to want to do, open your browser and go to mrchromebox.tech. Move all these screws out of the way. Oh, they magnetize. Interesting. So anyway, I'm on this website here, mrchromebox.tech. Amazing work he's done with this stuff. Anyway, you want to just go to firmware here. Sorry, firmware utility script. I clicked the wrong link. And basically, just copy paste this command here. You're going to press Control-Alt-T to get into Crush. And once you're in Crush, so remember, I'm in developer mode right now. So you have to look up how to go into developer mode before you can do any of this. But once you're in developer mode, you should be able to type shell, and then just copy paste his command in there. And give it a minute. So if I did this right, it should say firmware write protection is off. Otherwise, it'll be red and say it's on. Write protect enabled. Software WP enabled. Oh, well, maybe. No, it's off. See, this is usually red when it's on. I don't know why it said write protection was on. So with option 1 here, I don't know why it's grayed out. I've done it before. I've done it on another Chromebook. Basically, you'll have to press Control L on boot, and then it will boot. You can boot it like off the SD card or something. So, and that's, you can completely preserve Chrome OS with that. I'm going to completely wipe Chrome OS because I don't care. I hate Chrome OS. It's absolutely awful. No offense, Google, if you're watching this. It is your video streaming platform after all, but... Alright, so I'm going to choose option 2, install the full firmware. Yeah. Do I want to... Yeah. Highly recommended in case you wish to... So, if you have a blank USB key, you can stick it in your Chromebook now, and hit Y or just hit enter because it's the default, and it'll back up like your Chromebook's firmware so that you can run this utility from Linux and you can restore Chrome OS onto the Chromebook. I've done that before. I don't care. I think I might already have one. I think I got rid of it because I hate Chrome OS and I never want it to show up ever again. So I'm just going to hit N. Wait for this to just do its magic noises. This is where I would insert a transition effect if I were like actually editing this. While it's doing this, I'm going to go put some of the screws back in. I'm getting a little bored. So, now one thing I want to mention with these screws is that the ones that go on the corners are actually shorter than the rest of them, which is really a pain in the butt, especially if you didn't know that to start with. It is kind of a pain. I'm not sure what the little blue markings are about, but the screws aren't all the same size. Just thought I would warn you. So I'm going to put these screws back in now that I can confirm that it is actually going to install, that the write protection is in fact off. Because if it weren't off, I probably took the wrong screw out. So that's why I would avoid putting the screws back in until you've gotten about as far as I have. I gotta remember which screws went and everything. I have no clue which screws are the most important, so if you lose some, it's not the end of the world. You can see I was using it perfectly fine without any screws in, because the keyboard snaps on anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But just a FYI, a fair warning. If you lose some of them, sorry, I don't know. Can't really help you. So I have taken a peek at the screen, and I can confirm that it is done flashing the software. Hopefully that screw goes there. And then this write protection screw, I would just keep it somewhere safe. Even if you choose to reinstall Chrome OS, you shouldn't need to put it back in ever. Like, you should be good to just throw it away if you want. But I would hold on to it just because. Oh, also what you're doing definitely avoids any warranty that this thing has. I should probably mention that. So now, as you can see, yeah, it's installed. So I'll press R to reboot. Hopefully when it boots up here, this should work. Please work. It should say like CBIOS. Just junk off the screen. See if all these ports work. This will probably work. It appears that this Chromebook only uses slow ports. It did warn me about this in the thing. If it's black like this for this long, that's normal on the first boot. So just give it a bit. I'm going to go ahead and plug in the USB key now. This USB key has Ubuntu Server like 20.04 or something on it, which is I think a little outdated by March 2024 when I'm filming this video. It's weird to say. So just give it a second here. We're almost done. This is about the end of the stream here. Oh, here we go. So it is working. I lied, it's not CBIOS. That's the other one that uses a legacy boot, I think. Oh. And it's probably, so if I were smart there and had pressed escape, it would have given me the ability to choose what device I boot off of. And now it's probably going to try booting off the USB key because there's no operating system just installed here on the internal storage. So that's obviously going to fail. Again, first boot takes longer. Oh, I got grub. Why did I get grub? Well, I don't know what any of this stuff does. Honestly, I don't remember it acting like this. I don't remember, I haven't done this in like a year or two, so some of the firmware utility scripts may have changed. Tell me I didn't break it in some way. I'm just going to try and force shut it off and try again. Refresh and power does a force reboot, in case you didn't know. That works on normal Chrome OS too. Press escape. Okay, so this is what I meant to do, because I don't know, I'm being stupid. This is what I want to boot off of, this USB key. This may have actually been what it did before, but... yes, you can see it is working. Yay. From the USB key blinking. So this same process works whether you're installing Ubuntu Server, Linux Mint, whatever you want to do. I wanted to any key to continue booting. Failed. Verify it contains it. 64-bit OS. You know what? Let's just try changing where this USB key is. Trying again. Wait, you can boot from a file now? That's pretty cool. I didn't know you could do that. This is the basic process you're going to go through. It doesn't appear to be working for me right now, but this should work. I might just cut the video here, even though it technically hasn't worked yet, just because I've done this before. I know this works except for this one time, so. Alright. So I think I'm just going to cut it here. So I know from experience that this will work. You will have, I think the biggest issue with Linux on Chrome OS is audio issues. I'd also like to mention there's a system designed to use on Chrome OS called Gallium OS, which I've tried before. It's okay. Linux Mint works just as well, though. I love Linux Mint. I use it on my personal laptop. I made the mistake of installing Ubuntu on my desktop. I'm not a huge fan of Ubuntu anymore, just because I don't even want to get into it. It's just... Anyway, that's the basic process. It's not hard. It's just kind of painful if you care about technology. If you love just destroying things, it's a lot of fun. Yeah, I think that's about it. So, you can use this method just because it's a problem with my USB key, I believe. Just because it didn't work for you this time doesn't mean it won't work for you. So that is how you do it. So step 1 is to Google how to install or how to put your Chromebook in developer mode. You'll know you've done that when it says OS verification's off. You can press Control-V to get past that annoying beeping noise that drives me crazy. And then step 2, Mr. Chromebox.tech. Copy and paste his firmware utility script command in there and just choose option 2 to wipe Chrome and put on the good stuff on there, and then just boot from a USB key that has some flavor of Linux installed, like Linux Mint. To do that, by the way, you just download an ISO. You just Google like download Linux Mint or download Ubuntu. You'll find instructions to how to do it. You just download that ISO file and flash it onto your USB key or SD card. You can do it from an SD card too. That's it. That really is it. I have nothing else to say. Actually, I have more USB keys with different OSs installed. So let me just pull one of those out. That didn't work. This one has support for multiple different operating systems because I have a cool tool called Ventoy, I believe. So let's try. Here, I'll try booting from something else this time, and just to show you that it should work. So technically, you can run. See, it does work. See, I'm telling you, it works. I can install Kali on here. That would be kind of fun. There's Ubuntu desktop. Let's see if I can just get a live boot here, just to show you guys that this works. So what I'm doing is called live booting. Most Linux systems support this, so you can like have the full operating system without even installing it, which is pretty cool. So with this USB key, I have multiple different ISOs on there, and I could have a bunch of different operating systems on here, and I could just switch between them. It wouldn't save anything, but like I could just quickly use Kali or something. But yeah, see, this is Linux Mint. Linux Mint is running on this Chromebook, so that's pretty cool in my opinion. Now these keys, you'll have to go into whatever your settings are and actually rebind them all. Google is your friend. I'm not going to say anything else here. Look how this boots. The jump scare every time. And actually this is really fast booting if you consider it for like how many years old? I got my version of this like 7 years ago, and it was not new at the time. So for probably like a 10-year-old low power at the time device, that's pretty fast boot time. You can go on the web, do whatever. Might be some games pre-installed. So that's it. That's it. So install whatever you want on here. Have at it. I just showed you how to get to the part where you install a Linux distro. You just pick one of your choice. That's how to do it for the HP Chromebook 11G5 EE. Hopefully I made that succinct enough without my editing. And yeah. Keyboard works. Adios. I'm going to delete this. Or not delete this video. I'm going to end this.